watching already. Right on, dude. Whoever's watching, say what's up so I can tell who it is. I know it's like a delay. Got 2 people in here. Hit that like button. I'll comb my beard until we get going. What's up? Johnny on the flip side. What's going on? Fernie X. Fernie X SAR. Terrible at reading these names sometimes. Man, I am just watching the disaster go down here at the truck stop. It's one of these truck stops that's in a city. And you know how that is. There's limited parking in all these truck stops in these cities. And thanks, Jen. I am feeling a bit better. Johnny on the flip side. We got a lot to talk about. I see a lot of people hawking spots. I was sitting here with the truck running before with the AC going because it's hot here in Ohio. And, you know, people see the truck running. You don't realize you're in your pajamas. Just took a shower. Dude, the parking's been terrible the whole entire time. Jay, what's up? Hope you're doing well, too. The freight, I don't think the freight's picking up. It's hard to say. I mean, I've been getting a lot more miles. This check I'm getting tomorrow is the best check I've gotten with Western Express. But I drove like an animal. And so, Jen, there's tornadoes in Ohio like every day, seriously. And I sent you pictures of the one that I saw, the 2. They were 2 dancing together, but they were babies. They were baby tornadoes. And I know baby tornadoes can still do damage, but I weigh 80,000 pounds. I'm not really worried about it. Freight. What were we talking about? Freight picking up? Been driving like crazy. I notice when I drive, I mean, this is simple stuff, I'm sure, like, I'm gonna get comments like, oh, you're a fucking idiot, you don't know how the clock works. Bro, last week, I ran out of hours, down to nothing. No recap hours, nothing. And I got stranded in, Hurricane Mills, Loretta Lynn's spot. And, that's where I wound up getting sick. I was sick. I wound up having a sinus infection. And that happened because dumb good guy Glenn took a shower in Kentucky and got water in his ears. He felt it when it happened. I'm talking about myself in the third person. I felt it when it happened. Baseball-sized hail. It's not my truck. I don't give a shit. So, I'm driving to Bahia, Mississippi. I like to do that in one shot. That's like a 500-something mile shot from Wentzville, VA to there. And I almost did it, man. Almost did it like the snowman, but I stopped to get fuel. I did my 30-minute, and when I was doing my 30-minute, it came back, and I had 2 hours left on my 70, and I was 140 miles from drop, so it wasn't happening. And if you know Bahia, Mississippi, it's right below Memphis, and that's a no-go parking situation down there. Sick in the truck is no bueno. No bueno. 2 a.m. pimp. What is up? Is girl in the truck distraction? Can be. Yeah, I was in Indiana the last few days. I saw lot lizards in Indiana. I can't believe it, dude. I haven't been out here forever, but I've been out here since last year, and I only saw lot lizards a couple of times. One handful of times, like barely that. And I saw 2 at the pilot yesterday in Indiana. It was crazy. It was that pilot, or maybe it was a Flying J off of exit 4 over there. Exit 4 off of what highway? What highway was I on? Man, I can't even tell you. You say they're all over, low-key, but I don't think so. I saw one in Florida who looked like a real estate agent. She was funny. She was trying to be classy. The one I saw yesterday looked like Tammy Wette. She must have been 70-something years old. And I walk into the truck stop, and she's in the trucker lounge, and her hair was awesome, dude. She had a great look. She looked like a 70s country star, and that was like right up my alley. She was like a cute old lady, and she's like, "How you doing, sugar?" And I'm like, "I'm doing great. How are you doing?" She goes, "I'm doing real fine since I seen you, handsome." And she was chatting up all the truckers, whatever. So then I'm coming out with my coffee, and there's a girl standing by the trash can. And she asked me if she could hitch a ride with me going south. I said, "Well, where are you going?" I mean, I know the deal, you know? And she's like, "I'm going to Kentucky." I'm like, "I just came from Kentucky. I'm probably going towards PA." She goes, "Well, I'll take a ride to PA." I was like, "I thought you were going down south." She's like, "Well, I'm going to Florida," and whatever, bro. She was working. Her name was Michelle. Hi, Michelle, if you're watching. You're probably not. So I told her that as soon as I knew where I was going, I'd come get her. I did my pre-trip, and I rolled out. So, I went and picked up a load in Indiana at the Nestle's, water load. I drove it out to Kroger in Delaware, Ohio. If you've ever been to that DC, it's in the middle of nowhere. And I drove till I ran out of hours, basically. And I got there, and I was super early because I was supposed to drop at 02, and it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And they said that I could stay on the property overnight and do my 10-hour. Man, you never see that. You go to Walmart, and they're like running you out of there like a Korean grocery store owner. They're like, you go now. You know, they want to get you out of there, right? They don't want you on the property. This place was like, you know, and I was like happy about that. I was happy about that until it is rare to see lot lizard. Who's NTA banana spider? What do you know about NTA banana spiders? There's a great picture of me in NTA with a huge banana spider. Oorah. NTA. Oh, it's terrible. Wait, Shafi, is that you? You took that picture of me with the banana spider. It's probably not you. DB Cooper is in the house. DB, where's the money, baby? Maybe we're seeing more lot lizards because things are getting worse. And people got to go out and do stuff. Here, I ran into a bunch of homeless telling me that they needed money for propane. That's an unusual one. But to be honest with you, after talking to these folks, they didn't really seem like they were on drugs. They live under the bridge right over there. I bet you spent a lot of time in Okie. Were you in Schwab or... I was in Schwab. I hated it. Okie is one of those places, man. So, there's my homies. Fun fact, you could price check lumper fees with a tire thumper. Yes! We're getting to that. Okay, let's get to it. Let's get into it. So here I am. I'm at Kroger, right? DC. They're going to let me stay overnight. I'm stoked, dude. I could stay on property and not have to worry about, like, jamming into the pilot after hours? Or, like, the rest area? Or sleeping on the shoulder like a fucking idiot? And no. So, I get my call when it's my time, and I creep. You know, I creep in sleeper. I creep. 2 miles an hour. I do my 90, 2 miles an hour. Everyone's doing it, so everyone was taking their break. Everyone was doing the slow motion backing. Thank you, I saw the light. Good to see you. Brett, what's up? Raider Nation, baby! That's right, Raider Nation! Should have worn my Raider shirt. So, I go in, my spot, my door. The light turns red. I get a phone call. Something wrong with your load. All right. You got to come in here. You're going to go out on the floor and look at it. Okay. I go into the receiving office. They take me out on the floor. They look at it. The stacks of water came uncentered off the pallet. I'm like, okay, what's the deal? They're like, well, we're not going to unload this. Well, why not? Well, because they're sliding off the pallet. Now, I drove forklifts for years. You know, I've unloaded my share of trucks. I'm like, bro, put the forks under, drag it out a bit, then lift it a tiny bit, bump the load, and it'll bump it right back onto the pallet, and then you pull it out. Done it a zillion times, right? Now, we can't do that. All right, well, let me on the forklift. I'll do it. Take me 20 minutes. No, it's against union rules. It's against union rules. Dude, the load's not that bad. I could see if this thing was a disaster, like you opened it up and it looked like the Tasmanian devil tore through there. There was a couple of pallets where the load shifted. I'm upset because I slid my tandems and I did my weights and I was at capacity. I was pushing 34 on both drives and my tandems, my, trailers. And this load shifted. If I would have pulled into a weigh station, I could have been done. So we walk back. He's walking me off the floor, and he's like, "Oh, well, I'm refusing the load." You can't refuse the load, bro. There's nothing wrong with the load. He's like, "Yeah, no, we're refusing the load. You have to bring this down into Columbus, Ohio, to our spot and have it reworked." Wait a minute, you're a lumper. I'm paying you to unload this truck. Now you want me to go down to Columbus, have this truck unloaded, pay them to unload this truck, reload this truck, to drive it back here to Kroger, to pay you to unload this truck? How about I just pay you to unload this truck? Now listen, let's not get something twisted here. I was a union guy for years. All right? Never once was I in one of these unions where if you didn't work, you kept your job. I was in a union where if you didn't work, you got your check. Shopee got you your check at the end of the day. You had to work like an animal. You always had to stay busy. So I was like, yo, listen, dude, I'm supposed to go pick up my home load and I'm supposed to go home, see my daughter, because it's her play this weekend. He didn't care. So I got real upset because that's the truth. Any of you following the channel know I was supposed to go see my daughter. I never take home time. Well, I go to sleep because there's nothing I can do. When I contacted the company and told them what was going on, they said, you have to tell your DM in the morning when he gets here. Because the night shift and weekend shift at my company, they're worthless. So the next morning I get up, I tell my DM what's going on. I send him pictures of the paperwork. I send him pictures of the load. And he goes, well, just go to that spot that they said. So I drive down into Columbus. And right away, I get off at the exit. And any of you who've driven a truck through Columbus, you know that feeling you get like, I'm not supposed to be here? And I'm a company driver. I'm not owner-operator. Eyes in the sky. Trucking companies that don't hire from California. I'll get at you in a minute. Let me finish my story because I get off on tangents and I do want to talk about this. Eye in the sky. You know when you drive through Columbus and you just get that sinking feeling like you don't belong there? You know, because the streets just aren't made for us. I get to this little produce place. It's a little produce place. It's one of these places where it's on a main road and the loading dock is here and you gotta 90 off of the main road into the loading dock. Yeah. I pull up right away, they run out. Before I could even tell them what's going on, they're like, well, what do you got? And they're like, well, we're not gonna restack water. I'm like, well, I was sent here by Kroger. They're like, yeah, we don't know why they do that. We don't restack water. And then he goes on to tell me that a bunch of these places won't restack water. Okay. Now I'm stranded in this little alleyway in Columbus. Pissed because I'm sitting on this load and it's Thursday and I was supposed to be home tomorrow. Yeah, I know New York is. That's why I hate going there. Let's hit the like button, folks. There's a whole bunch of you in here. Let's hit the like button. So I tell my DM what's going on. He makes me fill out some form that I have no idea how to fill out. And tells me to go to a truck stop. I come over here. It's like 9 o'clock-ish in the morning. I've been here before. There's never parking here. Never, ever, ever. This is like one of the only truck stops in the heart of this city. And I came here, I got a spot, and I sat here all day. And I went through a range of emotions, and I filmed a video, and I was really upset because I'm going to let my kid down, and I'm not going to be at her last play because I'm stranded in Ohio. Long story short, at the end of the day, they have a place that's going to reload me, and I'm going to go back to Kroger to redeliver this. But the damage is done. I'm not going home. Now, I posted this in a couple of the trucker groups on Facebook, and, you know, all you old-timers, you long-nosed Pete, you know, you're all like, well, that's trucking, son. You know how many Thanksgivings and Christmases? Oh, that's good for you. And I'm sure your kids aren't working the pole, right? I don't want my kids working the pole. So, I never go home. Y'all know that about me. I never ask to go home. I'm out here to make loot. I made a lot of money last week. I ran like crazy. Damn near 3,000 miles. Okay? The best week I've had out here. And I wanted to just go home. One time. For a very specific reason. And I'll tell you right now, my kid graduates in June. I will be at her graduation. If you pull the shenanigans where during this week, I was like, hey, I'm going home Friday, and you're sending me down to Mississippi, that's nowhere near New Jersey. You're sending me to Mississippi, I start getting suspicious. All right? I'll abandon the truck. I don't care. Put it on my deck. But the lumpers are scam artists. Companies who hire lumpers, now I understand the concept. Okay? Before you long-nosed Pete's jump down my throat and tell me back in the day, you would have to unload the truck and you'd have to go find and hire a lumper because they would work the parking lot like lot lizards. And they're like, yo, for $50, I'll unload the truck for you. And that's how, like, lumping started. I know the history of trucking, okay? I'm not an idiot like a lot of these wheel holders. Like, I want to be a trucker, you know? I know what a lumper is. But they're criminals now. These companies, you hire us to deliver your stuff, and then you want to charge us to unload your stuff? Weird, because like the unions are all involved. This curtain's gonna piss me off. Anyway, oh, now it changed the sound. Lumpers make 0 cents. And then, it's never easy to pay them. Back when you had the checks, and I still have some of those checks, that would be easy. But no, now they all have an app, and it's all different. Some companies will use the same app, but there's like, I'm not downloading like 50 different apps to pay your dumb lumper. Your relay code. So stupid. But, yeah, we have to deal with lumpers. Whatever, dude. Eye in the sky. Why don't companies want to hire from California? California is taking some drastic measures against trucking companies. Their no idle policy, and they don't want any diesel vehicles starting in whatever year coming up, where tractor trailers basically won't be allowed in California. I can't wait for that because California has Newport Beach. Like, that is a major hub for trucking, for stuff coming into the country. That's where a lot of your container ships come in. And if you do away with diesel trucks, who's bringing that stuff out of there, Gavin Newsom? That guy is such a moron. It's unbelievable. So, yeah, your dumb governor has basically screwed all the trucking companies. So, yeah, no, they're not going to hire you from California because they're not going to give you home time. Because how are they going to get you home when we're going to pretty much stop rolling there pretty soon? My theory, I don't know for sure. I don't even know if any of these things are going to come to fruition, but still fighting this sinus infection. Stinks. Vaping, it doesn't help. But anyway. It's like annoying when these day cab guys who work for UPS and FedEx, they come down to the truck stop and they park in spots to take their break. Yeah, but Florida's not because of politics. Florida's because nothing comes in and out of Florida. That's going to change soon. DeSantis is bringing in ports to Florida, and a lot of the stuff is good. They're going to pick up a lot of California's slack, and Florida's going to become a hub. You watch. Campers taking up spots in the truck stop for sure. So anyway, Yeah, here I am in Ohio tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. I roll up, get reloaded, then I go back to Kroger. Then I'll sit there for however long it takes them to unload me. And then after they unload me, I'm going to have words with the dude. You know, maybe not the dude exactly who rejected my load, but I'm going to speak my piece, and I'm not going to be a nasty dick about it. I'm just going to speak my piece. It's not going to do anything, but it'll make me feel better. Got a violation in Cali for my trailer. Brake lights, when the mechanic came to fix it, there was nothing to fix. Everything was working fine. So, yeah, who all saw the video of that broad from JB Hunt getting arrested because she had the wrong registration for the trailer? Can you believe that? Like, the cops arrested her for that? You know how many times I deal with the cops in DOT and they know it's not us, they know our company is screwed up? Like, when we do something, it's one thing when it's weight. You're supposed to weigh your vehicle. You're supposed to know your weights. You're supposed to set your tandems appropriately. That's driver responsibility. I get it. You get a ticket for that. I get it. Speeding. Come on. We all know if you're speeding, you get a ticket for that. Improper passing, lane change, all that moving and now there's buses pulling into the truck stop. Are you going to let these people off in this bus stop for like a break? That's what these people want. If he had been a man, the cops would not have been so caring. I don't know if they were so much caring. Yeah, I'm gonna do something extraordinary nice for my kid. My kid doesn't want me out here. I'm gonna see what happens. I'm gonna put my ear to the ground and maybe try to get a regional job. I never thought I was gonna stay OTR forever, but I wanted to at least give it a year, maybe two. But and listen, I don't hate the job. Yeah, the problem is she's been forgiving me more than once or twice. I've been real good at, like, she takes, like, whenever I'm, like, screwing something up in my life, you know, she's a victim, too, of that. And I love her, and, like, you know what, she gets mad love for me, and I'll spoil her anytime I can, but that's not making up for it, dude. Buying her stuff all the time, and that's just teaching her nonsense. Like, time is the most important factor. Time. And when I was doing real estate, I had no time. And I was home. I was home. And I was gone so much, always working. That's exactly right. Money cannot buy back memories. And, like, this is pissing me off to no end that I'm not going home this weekend. But what are you going to do? You can't undo it. You can't unscrew what's screwed up. Everybody in here, hit the like button. Come on. Let's get these likes up. So there's nothing wrong with having a dedicated regional route. Maybe you do make a little bit less money. I highly doubt that at this point. With what they're, look at this guy driving the bus out of the truck stop now. Like, what, you figured out like this is not a place for your passengers? You like bailed? Dude, my dude just pulled out of here doing 50 miles an hour. You know, we all seen these videos of people getting killed in the truck stops because of stuff like that. could do something here. Semper Tyrannis, you are becoming a moderator. Congratulations, now you can kick out some trolls. All right. Yeah, don't worry, I saw the light. I'm making some moderators here. What truck do I drive? I drive an International. I'm not super happy about it, but it's not bad. I'll tell you what an International loses in like comfort and like cool factor, it makes up for with I can take hills loaded better than a lot of trucks. It's got some juice where it counts. That reminds me, I gotta go to Walmart. I gotta buy some groceries. I just bought some $9 deodorant at the truck stop. It's like ridiculous what they charge us for. The Cascadia is a nice truck, man. I didn't like it. That's the truck I learned on. 2024 Cascadia. And I wasn't a fan of it then. But after being in other trucks, like, I'm a pretty big fan of it. Oh, now we got Russian guys. 4s and 7s and backwards letters and stuff. NTA Banana Spider, your name is awesome and gives me the creeps at the same time. So, price gouging, that's like putting it lightly, what they got here. Oh, he said he likes Kenworth in Russian. Well, cool, dude. New moderators, don't try to realize who's just talking trash like they talk on the CB and who's actually a troll that needs to go. Because some of my closest friends talk to me like I'm an asshole. You know what I mean? So you gotta, like, know who's just, like, being obnoxious and who's, like, really a troll. A lot of these kids, they're kids. They're, like, high school kids just trolling. Does my company call me? My company never calls me. It's like I'm out here alone. It's like I'm an owner-operator out here. I can't get answers. I can't get them to answer phone call. I've spoken to my DM once since I've been with this company last year. He called me, and when he told me who he was, I was like, I'm amazed you called. Oh, don't apologize. I think who you kicked out was a legitimate troll. I'm not saying you, I'm saying in general. I'm just putting a blanket statement out there. Keep an eye. That's all I'm saying. Let them troll out for a while, and when you realize that they're just like asking stupid questions, like say my name, happy birthday, you know, stuff like that, you can bail them. You can kick them to the curb. Dude, there's not a man alive who will not scream like a woman when a banana spider lands on their face. When you walk through a banana spider web in the middle of the night and you feel those bony legs on you, because a banana spider is like roughly the size of your hand, and you know those bony ass legs are on your like forehead, on your boonie cover. Oh my God, and you do the spider dance, and then you get spooked because you don't want it to bite you. So, like, do you like K-pop? You can go. Oh my God. So, yeah, this place is like, the weather wasn't so bad today. We had some storms blow through, but it wasn't terrible like they had predicted. Where's Jenny? Jenny, you still around? Jenny tells me the weather every day. I kind of appreciate that. She's pretty good, too. She usually knows what's going on. She, like, keeps an eye on the weather. You guys. I'm not shaving the beard, but I am shaving all my hair off. While I'm OTR, I'm just going to be a maniac, and it's just going to be wild. I just showered, so it's wet right now, so that's why it looks like I have Jerry curl. But, my hair is garbage. It's just, my hair used to be thick and nice, and all the years of some of the stuff I did caused my hair to fall out, and it's just, it's got to go. I've got to shave my head. Yeah, I shaved my head almost all my life. I never had long hair. Since I was in high school, I've either had a high and tight or shaved my head. And this is like, I wanted to have one last hurrah and grow my hair out. You know, I did the whole Viking realtor thing. And now it's got to go. Because, like, look, it's gone. I'm not going to be the guy who rocks the skullet. Dude, it is hot in this truck. It is, like, humid out. I don't want to run the truck while I'm doing the live, because when I listen back, you could really hear it in the video. Yeah, you gotta go. Say my name. You're out. Who's that? Johnny Phillips, thank you so much. I feel better. Yeah, it was a sinus infection, man. I had a little low-grade fever, 100 degrees. I kind of knew what it was when I felt worse than when I had the Rona. Because the Rona is just like a fever and you're tired and you just sleep. After you drive your 11, you just go to sleep. This was like, I felt terrible. And I used to get them chronically. And what it was is, I was getting allergy shots for the last few years, and now I'm off the allergy shots because obviously I'm not going home to get them. And now I'm starting up with the sinus infections again. Yeah, dude, you drive through a twister? Man, that's crazy. You know, you see them sometimes off the side of the road, especially when you're driving in, like, Indiana and Ohio. You know, you'll see them blowing through these fields, and they're not that big. You know, some of them. I haven't seen a big twister since maybe 30 years ago down south. I saw one off 95. I saw 9 of them one time off of 95 of various sizes. They were decent sized. They weren't like F5s or anything, but They were decent-sized twisters. And it's crazy. What memorial band am I wearing? Are you talking about this? It's not a memorial band. This is old Old Norse. It says something in Old Norse. Something my wife is. Yes, it's a vape. So anyway, I guess we're all caught up. Lumpers are criminals. Man, so North Carolina, I saw a bunch of twisters down there when I was in the service. Bad news, dude. They don't take the hair from your head when they do hair follicle. So, you can shave your head all you want. You can shave your legs, too. You'd be surprised where they can pull the hair from. I went for a civil service job, and I don't want to tell you where they took the hair from on me. You can, I mean, these governors, they can do whatever they want, but it's a federal law. You can't take the break away because it's a federal law. The break is a pain in the ass sometimes, you know, but I understand why it's there, and I'm glad, like, we have it if you need it. You know what I mean? To take a 30-minute break. But there's times when you're trying to just run it out, and the break gets in the way. There's nothing worse than when you forget to take your 30 and you're driving like 500, 600 miles, and all of a sudden your clock is yelling at you that you need to take that 30, and there's no place to take it. And you could be like a prime driver and pull over in the shoulder, because for some reason they love taking their breaks in the shoulder. It doesn't happen often. I generally plan, when I trip plan, where I'm going to take my 30. And usually it's when I have a fuel solution, I take my 30. What I'll do, this is going to be funny, and then you Western Express drivers that are watching, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and I could even possibly be talking about you. I will pull into the fuel island, and I will get behind a Western Express truck that's in a fuel island, because y'all go take showers and take naps and disappear and go do your taxes while you're in a fuel island. So I know I'll get my 30 in while I'm waiting behind you for fuel. And one time that blew up in my face, boy. I was in Nitro, West Virginia, and this kid was nowhere to be found, this Western driver. And he was in the fuel island. We're not talking like he was in front of me in a fuel island, like, and I was fueling. Like, I was waiting. I was waiting. So, Mr. Gauchos, good to see you. I think you should be able to take them in 2 15-minute breaks too, bro. Nitro is a terrible truck stop. They've got potholes so deep they'll swallow your wheels in there. It's a trip hazard for these trailers, for sure. If you're empty, you better be careful. Not empty, but if you're loaded, you better be careful. If you're loaded with paper, forget about it. What were we talking about? We were talking about the brakes. Man, listen. I don't want it to go back to the old days. You remember in Groundhog Day? When was the last time you slept? He goes, I slept last week. You know, like, you know, I understand. We got to take breaks. It's good that we have breaks. It's good that we get a 10-hour. But I'm trying to shoot the content, man. I'm sorry I haven't come out with a long format video. My videos are getting so old now. Now I don't even know if I'm gonna publish the one because it's me driving through a snowstorm I got caught in Pennsylvania in early February. I'm getting the T-Mobile wireless internet for the truck. I was supposed to get it this weekend, but I'm obviously not going home now. And I have to get it at home because you have to say it's for your house. You can't say it's for the truck. And if I get it in like Kentucky, but I put down my address in Jersey, they're going to be suspicious. Mad suspect. Once I get that going, we'll go back to the GoPros and we'll go back to that. Eventually, I'll get a laptop out here and I'll have my software where I could like edit properly and make decent production videos. But I'll be honest with you, these stripped down videos that I do, I like it. Why do I gotta do like all this extra production? There is times where I wish I could superimpose photos and whatnot, which I can't do on what I got out here right now. Jenny, where have you been? Jenny, you missed like the whole entire thing. I'll talk to you later about this. Mr. Gauchos, I got stuck out in Ohio, and it's not looking good for tomorrow. I have to get reworked in the trailer, and then I have to drop because I got rejected. My load got rejected at Kroger's yesterday. And it took them all day to figure out where they're going to get me reworked. So they found a spot tomorrow at 08. I show up, I get reworked, and then I go back to Kroger and try to drop this. I don't use nicotine. 2 a.m. pimp. These are nicotine free. Saucy highlights. My friends wanted me to bring my desktop out here, and my desktop Mac is the big one, like with the screen is the size of a television. Where the hell was I gonna keep that? You know what I mean? I'm not doing that. I'm gonna have to get a laptop. We'll figure it out. Johnny Phillips. Or am I getting decent miles? Last week I got real good miles. Do you go to New York? If you go to New York, you go to New York. I've been through the Bronx several times. I prefer when I go up over the Tappan Zee. I'm from that area. I know those roads. I used to take the Tappan Zee to work every single day. I would have bribed them if I would have known. And if I would have had cash on me. Unfortunately, I don't like to keep cash in the truck for obvious reasons. You know what I mean? The last time I was keeping cash in the truck, I gave it to my daughter when I saw her at the Vince Lombardi rest stop. Work is slow in some spots. Like, it picks up, man. It has, like, its weird... I notice lulls. That's why I just try to, like, Like, I'm pissed off that I didn't get to go home, but I'm not going to start trouble with my DM. Because I don't want to, like, not make miles. I go to Georgia all the time. Some guy watching YouTube. Welcome. Yeah, I gotta start carrying cash. If I had cash, maybe things would have went differently yesterday, you know? Maybe that's what they're looking for, too, these lumpers. These lumper bastards. I swear to God. Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about that, too. Like, Adam the Woo, when he basically started doing the Daily Woo, and he cut all the production out of his videos, and it's basically just him vlogging, it's an easier watch, for sure. California strip clubs. That's funny. Oh, God, it's getting hot in this truck. A C note? Really? I'll be honest with you. If I had a C note on me, I would have dropped it to go home. Now that you're bringing that up, now I'm mad at myself. Because I'm from Jersey, and I am accustomed to doing shit like that. No, the only reason is I have to have the windows up because of the sound. And I can't run the truck with the AC because of the sound. Because the phone is right by the vent. And I noticed when I watch back the videos when the truck is running, it sounds terrible. So I'm trying to do this way. I am thinking, before I leave this truck stop, of buying one of those coffee makers out of the truck stop. I could save a fortune on coffee. I spend a lot of money on coffee at the truck stop. Even with my military discount. With my military discount and my rewards. Why is it every time I buy a small coffee, I get my free coffee? Is that planned that way? Is that what they do? They're like, oh, he's buying a small. Give it to him for free. That's what I think. I have the saline spray, Jen. We talk about this all the time. See, if I was home, I would have played that, Mark. I'm a big player of the lottery. One day I'll win. I was talking the other day to my daughter about this. And I think if I won the Mega Millions, I would do owner-op for 1 year. And I wouldn't even be doing it to really make money. I think I'd just basically be trucking to truck. Because let's be honest, you do see some cool stuff. But it stinks because you don't get to stop and enjoy it. But imagine if you did get to stop and enjoy it. Well, you could do that in like a camper. Maybe I would do camper. Maybe I would do van life videos. Plastic wrap and whatnot. I don't understand. Had a lumper tell me he wasn't gonna unload me after I listened to him on the phone talking to his girlfriend about his wife. I told he better unload me first and get his wife. That's great. Request a 34 somewhere. That's... I don't generally request a 34. I basically get forced into them, like the other day. in Hurricane Mills. I was going nowhere. 2 hours left on my clock. That was it. No recap hours. When you burn up your clock every day, that's what happens. You don't gain back recap hours. So you have to do the 34. I hate it. I was watching a video on how you could keep basically perpetually driving forever without doing 34s, but you could only drive 8 hours a day. If you hustle, you can still make a lot of miles in 8 hours a day. Can I play a song for you? No, piss off. NYC truckers were never protesting. That was not a real thing. I thought about doing that, man. I thought about going back there and repositioning those pallets, but the problem is it's 20 pallets. It's 1,500 pieces. It's a lot. And then if I slid the pallets away from each other, they're staggered. If I slid them away from each other to look at all of them, then I might be messing up my tandem weight. And I am about 30, 40 miles from the drop. I'm just going to go and let them sort this out. It's already too late. The damage is done, dude. You know what I mean? The damage is done. $8.7 a day. Mr. Gaucho's is like racking up miles. Best town for lot lizards. I'm not an owner operator. I'm a company driver for Western Express. And I would do owner op, but I would have to be independently wealthy. Man, sometimes I'm in the truck stop and I'm getting like service done on my truck and the company pays for it. And these owner ops come in and they're screwed, man. They'll have something major go down. And it's like $3,500, $5,000 to like fix something. And it's like, you could see the struggle that they have. You know, and they pull out the credit card and it's just like, it's crazy, bro. So anyway, it's hot. Did I mention that? I've mentioned that. It's hot. I want to drink my strawberry milk. Maybe hit the rack. You gotta definitely be a diesel mechanic to be an owner op. That's like me. Like I was into the Jeep life, and I could fix the Jeeps, like the old 4.0 motors. I could do everything to those motors, you know, and you have to because they constantly break down. But it's so funny that motor is so bulletproof and yet so problematic. It's like it'll always get you home, but it'll always have like all these little issues. That's a different channel altogether, though. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate that. I try to be. I'm not messing around out here. I'm not trying to kick you nothing. There's some dudes, man. I watch all these trucker. I I like watching the bad trucker channels. I like watching the dudes who are going to tell you about their 5-point investment plan and the strategies to making money with like Bitcoin and real estate. Bro, I was a real estate agent, dude. Go back in this channel and look at some of the high-end real estate I sold, dude. I was involved in some big dollar transaction real estate. And I'm telling you, you don't want to get involved in trading real estate while you're a trucker. If you're buying an investment property like a 2-family house and you're going to live in one and let your tenants like pay down a lot of your mortgage, like something like that is wise. But some of the nonsense these trucker channels are telling you about buying property, building houses, yo, don't listen to any of that. Don't listen to any of that. That's all nonsense. Why do you think I'm driving a truck now? Real estate is about to dump hard. Mark my words, you're going to see it. It is good to buy land depending on where you're buying it. You got your Class A and you're not driving yet? Oh, man. Miss Motives, how long have you been out of the seat? Have you had a trucking job at all since you've had your CDL? Miss Motive, you still there? Dump trucking? But you have your Class A? When was the last time you did a 90 or backed? You can make decent money as a dump truck driver. I know some dudes who do. Man, I have got the first spot right here by the entrance to the truck stop, and I am going to see something bad's going to happen over here, man. These guys barely miss each other. Miss Motive, I did it just to get started. Yeah, the problem is when you get into those dumps, the dump trucks, and then you get into like, you kind of get caught pigeonholed in that because you're not driving the trailer. You're not driving a semi trailer, and you kind of lose that. If you're going to get into OTR, go to a good company, like go to Warner, do at least 5 weeks with your trainer. Maybe take a refresher course like 2 a.m. Pimp is talking about. Yeah, dude. So you see a lot of like these dump truck guys doing silly stuff. Truckers. OTR is not the only option for new drivers, but it is an easy option because there's a starter companies that are just going to basically enslave you and treat you like garbage. You're going to make terrible money. From what I'm hearing now, they're paying these kids even less than they were. Like, I think, like, I heard 39 cents a mile, some of these kids. And what's getting scary is I keep getting raises, and every time you get a raise, you just start to push yourself towards obsolescence. When you go to the terminal, like whenever you have to get like maintenance done or get new stickers or pick up your regs for the trailers or the trucks, and you go to the terminal, they're running 2 orientation classes a week out of the terminal. Those are all asses that are looking to be in your seat. TMC is a good company. You got 23 cents a mile when you started? I wouldn't even come out here for 23 cents a mile. Unless it was way back in the Wayback Machine, but I know that they paid a lot more than that in the Wayback Machine. If you have a job lined up to get an alignment truck, then do it. My beard looks trimmed. It's not trimmed. I don't trim it at all anymore. It looks this way because it's clean. I just took a shower and I put oil in it. 36 cents. You're making 36 cents? Who's this? Henry, you're making 36 cents a mile? Bro, if you're making 36 cents a mile, then come to Western Express. I know they're still paying more than that. Yeah, dude. Once you get rolling, you'll make more money. Once you get rolling, you make more money. You just have to get out of the transitional period. You have to get away from the starter companies. Although, I've talked to a bunch of guys, older dudes, who started with Swift, who are working with Swift now, and they say going to Swift as an experienced driver is not a bad deal. Trucker Daddy Logistics. $0.45. That's what you were offered? Bro, go to Western Express. They'll pay you more than that. You're joining the army. '88 Mike, I don't know what that is. Is that Motor T? 50 cents per mile here right now, less than a year experience. Yeah, I hear you, man, about that 50 cents a mile. But when I crept up there to that area, you know, in the high 40s, and you start to make 50, 52 cents a mile, you start to get worried because you got a lot of kids coming in this company making a lot less than that, and they'll give those high mile, you know, hauls to those kids because they're paying them garbage. I feel like what ends up happening is as you get more raises, you start to just basically, you start to age yourself out of the company when you work for a mega company. But I got so many friends now who've moved on to locals and mom and pops, and they're not having a good time, man. I think you have to get lucky. Because I know that there's good mom and pops. Like I said, my family owned a trucking company back in the 70s and 80s. And they weren't like a shady, terrible company. You got 4 years experience? You still driving? Keep driving, bro. I've already got my CDL. I don't gotta go do that. But I tell you what, I would go to Walmart after 5 years experience. They had to jack up that experience because of that guy who killed those people. They had a couple of Walmart drivers kill some people. Lease. You have to be with the right company to lease. I think Prime has got a decent lease company, but I don't know if I would work for Prime. I swear to God, sometimes I think the recruiters come in this video to like try to recruit people to some of these companies. Yeah, man, I've heard terrible stories about Prime, but I've heard terrible stories about all these companies. UPS gets laid off a whole bunch of people. I think if you could keep your overhead low and be an owner op, you can still do it. Yeah, UPS laid off a whole bunch of people. They're not governed at 55 at Prime. They're governed at 65. And I'll tell you what, I don't even think that's true. Because it's the Prime drivers that are doing like 64 in the right lane. You go around them, suddenly they match your speed and they're doing 70. How all of a sudden you're doing 70 when you were doing like 63, 64 a minute ago? So don't give me that nonsense that like you're governed. I bet you're not governed. I think they teach them that stuff. It's insanity. There's a lot of weird stuff going on about Prime. Yeah, you want to know what you hear about Prime? That you're basically going to be with your trainer until you die. Was it 30,000 miles you have to do? You know how long it takes a lot of these new guys to do 30,000 miles? Mind you, they drive them to the bone. Driving out there 11 every day, team driving them. But... And it'd be one thing if you get in all this training and you're with your trainer for like 6 months and then you come out and you're like super driver. But like a lot of these Prime drivers are dangerous out on the road. I think we're going to start seeing an end to the team driving thing now that they passed that federal law about the overtime with team driving, where they want these guys to get paid to be in the sleeper when they're not actually driving. And they passed that bill. Why not go local? Well, you can go local. You just have to get lucky going local, that you wind up with a good company. T. Turner, what is up? So weird that it stays light so late now, which I always was a fan of, like, you know. But that's back before I went to bed at like 7 o'clock. I saw the light. That's right. Let's hit the like button, folks. I gotta do some trip planning yet. I gotta, I know that I'm at my fuel solution. It came up on the tablet before that they gave me a fuel solution. I don't know if they gave it to me because I'm here or it's just coincidence that I'm here. But this is first thing tomorrow morning. I'll fuel up here and then I head into Columbus, Ohio to get restacked. And then I go back out to Delaware, Ohio to get unloaded. Who do I drive for? I guess, like, there's still new people coming in. I drive for Western Express. Team driving with your wife is the way to do it. If you're going to team drive, it has to be with a spouse a family member. My buddy went into team driving with Warner, and he, at first, you know, he was all gung-ho, like, oh no, I like my team driver, and then by the end, he was like ready to murder the guy, and then the guy wound up quitting. Ex-convict? What are you talking about? You heard terrible things about Western? Yeah, we all have. Hold on a second here. Dude, Hobby Lobby makes money, dude. There are companies out there that, like, you make loot. There's a delay in comments for sure. There's a delay in these comments. All right. All right, folks. I'm going to leave you. I want you to do your pre-trip every day. I want you to stay safe out there. Say your prayers. Drink water. Take your vitamins. I pray for all of you. I pray that you're all safe. I hope that you get home very, very, very soon to see your families. And I hope you'll find your happiness and what you're looking for out here. I hope you're all prosperous and you make a bunch of money. And I ask this in our Lord's name. Amen. And just stay safe, everybody. And I'll catch you soon. I'm going to be dropping some videos. And pretty soon we'll have the Wi-Fi in the truck and we'll have some long format stuff. See you soon.